How is it going, everybody? Thursday, November 21st, 2023. My name is Kevin Smith. Thank you all so much for tuning in to Loud Majority Live. We got a jam-packed show for you guys today. We're going to be going over the obvious recent breaking news that came across the wire, like it's 1960. Came across X about 20 minutes ago. Former Congressman Matt Gaetz withdrawing his nomination for Attorney General of the United States. I'm going to give you my opinions there, what I think of it, in just a second. Also, we've got to talk about Nancy Mace. Nancy Mace putting her foot down for reality and very, very upset people. All the right people being very, very upset by this. Also, Elon Musk scores a huge win with advertisers who once pulled out of the platform. We're going to talk about all that. More good Scott Jennings information. And a little bit later in the show, we're going to be joined by my friend Sammy Demiano. She's one of the funniest people I know. Local follower of the Loud Majority, and she's got a really, really funny story for you. And then at the end of the show, we're going to make fun of the governor of Massachusetts and the mayor of Boston. But before we get started, guys, hit that thumbs up button. Share this video out all over the place. If you're watching on X, please do retweet this so that more people can see it. If you're watching on Facebook, hit the @ button on the screen. That's, Shift 2. It should come up followers or highlight. Please click on that so that more people can see it. If you're watching on Rumble, share this video out all over the place. Let's get going here. Let's pop this live chat up onto the screen. Where the hell's my live chat? There we go. There it is. All righty. What's happening, everybody? Hey, Jeremy, what's going on? Shout out breaking the news a little while ago about Congressman Gaetz. Now, I'm going to give you guys my opinion on this. I'm disappointed, both as an American and, you guys know, Matt and I are friends. Matt has always been very good to me when he didn't have to be. Understands what the grassroots is all about. Just a solid dude, solid guy, and I think he withdrew for a number of reasons. I think it was a distraction. I think he probably didn't want to drag his family through what this was going to entail, depending on pushback from certain senators. But I know for a fact that this exposed a lot of people. And their intentions. People like Mitch McConnell and Susan Collins, Lisa Murkowski. We're coming for all of you. I don't give a shit if I have to go campaign in Bangor, Maine, or Anchorage, Alaska. If I have to go recruit one of the guys from the Deadliest Catch, I promise you I will lead a primary effort when the time comes to get rid of somebody like Lisa Murkowski, someone who has been on the wrong side of every single America First policy agenda, including the Gaetz nomination, since the very beginning. I don't care how much oil money you have or if you ride a broomstick to work. I don't give a shit about any of that. We're coming for each and every one of you. Now, we don't know a whole hell of a lot yet, so I'm not going to speculate on moves. I'm not going to what's in store, what Matt's future is going to be. I have no idea. I haven't spoken to anybody who knows. There are plenty of options. Could Governor DeSantis appoint him to Marco Rubio's seat? He could. Is this him leaving public life for a possible governor run in 26? Possibly. I don't know. Is this him not wanting to distract from the greater agenda? Possibly. I don't know what it is. I'm sure details will emerge over the coming days, but I'm not going to speculate. I'm not going to speculate or Hazel Kitty, you know, all right, Hazel Kitty, please message me on one of the platforms, please, about that. Look, I'm not going to speculate or make up any sort of scenario because I have no idea, and I think that I owe Matt Gaetz at least that much. I owe him at least that much. So that's where I stand on it. We'll wait and see. Matt's a really smart guy, and he's young. He's in his early 40s. So I don't think he's done in public life. I don't think he's done in public life by any stretch of the imagination. So that is my take on the breaking news of the hour, and that until something else comes out, I'm not going to speculate. Guys, hit that thumbs up button. Share the video out. Jake, how are you? Angela, how are you? Jeanette, what is going on? Marie, AC Knight, as always, in the chat, guys. And once again, if you're watching on Facebook, please do hit that @ button and tag followers so that more people will get the show. Also, do me a favor, tag a friend in the comments section so so more people can get this. Alex Ann, how are you? Patty Vest, what's happening? Natalie, how are you? Let's see. Somebody's watching me. Hello. Good to see everybody. So the breaking news yesterday that I didn't get a chance to get to that I wanted to make sure I talked about was Congresswoman Nancy Mace from South Carolina. She's been on the show before. She's an absolute savage, and I'm not ashamed to say that I'm absolutely terrified of her. But she put forth a bill banning men, transgender women, from going in women's locker rooms and women's bathrooms in the Capitol. And many people got real upset about this. Many people got very, very flummoxed by this. Now, I want to make it clear. In the Capitol, almost every member of Congress has their own bathroom. There are also single-use bathrooms all over the Capitol. So for the people out there hemming and hawing, hooting and hollering about how awful this is and how Nancy Mace is a terrible, no good, very bad person because there happens to be a newly elected transgender member of the House of Representatives, you're just lying. Now, with all that being said, many people are bringing up the fact, why did Nancy Mace only bring this up when there was a newly elected transgender member? Because it turns out in life, you address problems as they come forward. It wasn't a problem before. Now the problem has arisen. This should not be difficult for everybody. Here was CNN being very flummoxed by this entire situation.
Sarah McBride doesn't get a say. I mean, this is a biological man. He does not belong in women's spaces, women's bathrooms, locker rooms, changing rooms, period, full stop.
Republican Congresswoman Nancy Mace introducing a resolution to ban transgender women from using the women's restrooms at the U.S. Capitol. The move comes just weeks after the first transgender person was elected to Congress. Democratic Congresswoman-elect Sarah McBride will be sworn in January. She responded in a post on social media. She writes this, quote, "This is a blatant attempt from far right-wing extremists to distract from the fact that they have no real solutions to what Americans are facing. We should be focused on bringing down the cost of housing, health care, and child care, not manufacturing culture wars. Delawareans sent me here to make the American dream more affordable and accessible, and that's what I'm focused on." Some of McBride's soon-to-be Democratic colleagues defended the incoming lawmaker. Congressman Joe Morrell telling Axios, quote, "I think we have a lot of problems in America. I don't think spending time worrying about the restroom is an order of priority here." Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez called the move plain bullying, while Congresswoman Becca Balint said cruelty is the point. Our panel is back. Kristen Soltis Anderson, trans issues became such a flashpoint in this election, in no small part because of that one ad that the Trump team put a lot of money behind that really broke through. The flip side of talking about this is that usually these measures impact a very small number of people, whether it's transgender women and transgender girls in women's sports, or a situation like this where there is one member of Congress who is clearly being targeted by this bill. Clearly, Nancy Mace is going to get some attention for doing this. When you look at this back and forth, how do you see this cutting?
Well, first, I think it's important to unpack why that ad was one that Republicans ran so often and ultimately felt was a successful ad in the campaign. And I think it comes down to the very end of the ad, where it sets up this dynamic of Democrats are for this small group that you're not a part of. Donald Trump's for you. And so when the debate is what should be prioritized, should you be prioritized? I mean, that's an argument that Republicans found worked with a lot of voters. It is also true that over the last, say, 6-7 years, we have seen public opinion shift in a pretty significant way against considering gender identity ahead of biological sex. I mean, particularly among Republicans, it's something like 9 out of 10 believe that biological sex should be considered first. So that's part of why Nancy Mace is doing this. No, she's run afoul of Republicans in the past for anti-Trump stances. She's had quite a journey on that front, and so it wouldn't surprise me if this isn't part of saying, like, look at me, I'm a true conservative, I'm taking this action.
Let's watch the piece of the ad that you were just kind of running through that sets up this debate, or did, for the presidential election. Watch.
It's hard to believe, but it's true. Even the liberal media was shocked Kamala supports taxpayer-funded sex changes for prisoners and illegal aliens.
Every transgender inmate would have access.
Kamala's for they, them. President Trump is for you.
That last line, Lanhi, really seemed to kind of cut through. And to Kristen's point, there were some moderate Republicans, Axios reported, who were apparently open to the resolution. One said they would need more information. Another one said, quote, I mean, presidential election may have been decided on this issue.
I mean, just the way CNN portrays that look, even moderate Republicans are on board with not letting guys pull their dicks out inside of women's bathrooms. I mean, what a crazy thought. What a crazy thought. Despite the fact that over 85% of Americans in multiple surveys have shown that this is not a winning issue for Democrats. It is not complicated. Look, this is the gimme, okay? This is the give me. The one that shouldn't be difficult to understand. A woman, Nancy Mace, who has been very open about this, so I'm not telling tales out of school here, who's been very open about the fact that she was the victim of sexual assault, doesn't want men in her locker rooms. What a thought. I mean, I don't know what is wrong with me that I think that that's odd. Like, it is unbelievable that Democrats simply can't get this. Here was Nancy Mace on Laura Ingraham going over it.
A very interesting question. So the height of hypocrisy, the height of gaslighting, they're threatening to kill me now because I, as a woman, am standing up to protect other women from men being in our private spaces, our restrooms, bathrooms, locker rooms, changing rooms, you name it. And so now they're threatening to kill me over this. I'm being bullied online. But what they forget is that, Laura, I'm the first woman to graduate from the Citadel, the Military College of South Carolina. I will not be bullied into silence. I will not back down. And in fact, I'm going to double down on this. And I'm going to file even more legislation to protect women beyond the Capitol, across every state in the nation. Because the simple question is, do women have rights or not? It's a very simple question.
Now, Rep-elect Sarah McBride responded to your resolution saying this is a blatant attempt from far right-wing extremists to distract from the fact they have no real solutions to what Americans are facing. We should be focused on bringing down the cost of housing, health care, child care, not manufacturing culture wars. Your response?
This is not manufactured. This is a person who's threatened to come into women's private spaces. And I'm a survivor of rape, sexual violence, and abuse. And I know how deeply vulnerable women are in places where we feel we have a right to privacy. And this is not okay. If you're a biological man, if you're born a man, you use the men's restroom. You don't invade our privacy. You don't come into women's private spaces. This is not a thing. I will die on this hill. It will not happen on my watch. This is a fight worth fighting for. And I'm going to fight to protect every woman in Congress, every staffer, every employee, every woman and girl across the country. They didn't learn anything from November 2 weeks ago. And women's issues were on the ballot, and conservatives are now feminists. It's wild. It's insane that this is even up for debate. It's not up for debate. And
well,
Sarah
one
McBride,
thing, yeah, I'm sorry, but one thing I know the left will say in response to what you just said is, well, it's horrific that you were subjected to any abuse or assault, any of it. But are you intimating that this new congressman-elect would somehow assault you in the bathroom? That would be the argument.
The idea of a man walking into a locker room where I'm changing is actually, it feels like assault. I am a victim. I have PTSD from the trauma that I have endured at the hands of a man. And I'm going to stand in the way solidly of any guy that wants to come into our spaces. And guess what? Sarah McBride doesn't get a say in this. And I'm not gonna succumb or be silenced by bullies online or by the radical left. They lost big. And I'm going to push back harder than ever before.
I mean, look, you want to you want to FAFO with Nancy Mace, feel free. That's not something I'm going to partake in. Now, obviously, when we look at the absolute wrong takes on virtually everything under the sun, naturally, we've got to look to the unbelievable, the incredible, the wildly brilliant Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Because every man who's watching this right now is going to know this feeling. If you've ever been in a fight with your girlfriend or your wife or a woman you love in your life and they say something really stupid, they usually do this immediately following.
It's disgusting, and everybody, no matter how you feel on this issue, should reject it completely. What are they doing? They're doing this so that Nancy Mace can make a buck and send a text and fundraise off an email. They're not doing this to protect people. They're endangering women. They're endangering girls of all kinds. And everybody should reject it. It's gross. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep. They roll their eyes and they walk away. The minute AOC says that keeping men out of women's bathrooms endangers women, she realized, oh no, I've said something very stupid. Therefore, I must now exit the conversation. Guys, let me know in the chat if you've been there. Ladies, I know none of you will ever admit it because most of you have never been wrong before. But the fellas out there know exactly what I'm talking about. Before we keep rocking and rolling, guys, Mike Lindell.
You're still looking good.
I'm still feeling good. You know, I've got all your MyPillow products. Mattress topper, bed sheets, MyPillows, towels, slippers, blankets, sleepwear, dog beds.
Whoa, Charles. Everyone now can get MyPillow products at huge discounts at MyPillow.com. That's right. Now's the time to go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to take advantage of our 3-in-1 sale. We're bringing you exciting new products, overstock specials, and closeout deals you won't find anywhere else. For example, when you buy one of our brand new MyPillow 2.0s, you get another one absolutely free. And with our overstock sale, you save 50% on our luxurious Giza Dream bed sheets. That's as low as $29.99 for the best sheets ever. And with our biggest closeout special, you get our all-season slippers for only $35. Or our sandals and slides for just $25. Quantities are limited, and once they're gone, they're gone.
Guys, head on over to MyPillow.com, promo code LOUD. That's MyPillow.com, promo code LOUD for up to 80% off everything on the website. That's MyPillow.com, promo code LOUD. How's it going, everybody? Actually, on the Matt Gaetz front, we are getting, we're getting possible, and I can't confirm this. I'm not aware of the technicalities, but it seems as though people are reporting, I think Fox is reporting it at the moment, that Matt resigned his current congressional seat, but because he won the election this year, he will be sworn in as that congressional district, as that district's member of Congress on July 20th. Now, I hadn't thought of that technicality, so perhaps Congressman Gaetz will be back as Congressman Gaetz, which, look, I'm excited that he's not leaving public service, if that is true. Obviously, once again, I cannot confirm that. That is all speculation. That's all speculation at the moment. I will let the dust settle. Follow the Bongino rule. Wait 24 hours and then give your comment. So we'll see what all happens with that. Guys, in just a second, we are going to be joined by a really good friend of mine who's got an absolutely hilarious story of true dedication to President Trump. We're going to be joined by my good friend Sammy Domino. She's a firecracker. She's a pisser. So she's been around with the Loud Majority since virtually the very, very beginning. Guys, hang out 1 second, and we will be right back. Alrighty, guys, we are back. I'm really excited to introduce you guys to my next guest. I love having guests on the show, but this is actually the first time I'm having someone on who has been around the Loud Majority since pretty much the beginning. Guys, please say hello to my friend Sammy Domino. How are you? Sammy, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Doing good, doing good. So, yeah, I'm honestly, I've been wanting to get you on for a while because you are one of my favorite people ever, particularly since, as we said, you've been around for a while with us. But you are one of the people who tends to find themselves getting banned on social media all the time for speaking out and saying whatever is on your mind. You certainly do not hold back from that. So I thought we'd have you on, talk about the election. More importantly, you are a suburban woman. Why did you not vote for Kamala Harris like the rich elitist liberals told you to?
My brain is fully functioning. It has been that way since 1985. So the choice was pretty cut and dry for me. I never go. It's funny because I was just talking to you the other day about how this whole thing started for me was years ago before I knew who Loud Majority was. And I was in yoga and I had all these liberal friends. I was not political at all. And I wanted to really badly hop on that bandwagon. Everyone hated Donald Trump. I was like, oh, cool. Like, I want to let some rage out. I want to hate him too. And I did so much research. And I'm not going to lie. This sounds so silly, but I actually researched bad things that Trump did because I really wanted to I wanted to know everything and I wanted to fit in with all of these people. And I would see all these bad things that he supposedly did with no evidence, nothing to back it up. And I was just, like I said, I think it's very telling. I was trying so hard to hate this man. And now, I'm one of the biggest Trump supporters, lost so many friends. But yeah, it really took about a whopping week for me to realize. And I had never voted before. I was not political whatsoever. It didn't take long for me to realize that there was a very big problem happening in this country, in the world, actually.
No, absolutely. And, it's so interesting you say that because I say this to everyone, to so many of my liberal friends, is that to my mind, it seems that the more liberal you are, the less you actually know about the situations that are going on. Democratic voters tend to be incredibly low information voters. And if you're watching Morning Joe, if you're watching The View, that's what you're going to get. But the more research you did, the more you got into it, the more you understood that actually this really is the best way forward. And I feel like a lot more people need to do that.
Yeah, and I mean, I get it. It's insulting, when people say things like, liberals ignore facts and this and that. But I mean, it is true because what you said is very, very accurate. I will try to explain. I don't have many liberal friends, I'm not going to lie. But if I do come across somebody who's not like-minded, I just calmly try to have a conversation with them. And from my personal experience, they just don't take to that well. And all I'm doing is just trying to show them things and presenting facts. And again, I don't know if it's just me. I don't think it is. But they just don't really, it's like they shake. Something happens to a liberal when you show them like what's actually happening.
No, it is, and it's so interesting. I have we've all lost friends over this, and I say it to people all the time. I've never cut a Democrat out of my life because of politics. They always seem to be the ones cutting us out because they're the good people. They're the tolerant ones. Just not when you disagree with them on the proper rate of taxation, which they tend never to have an answer for. So, look, as I said before, flippantly, you are a suburban woman who didn't vote the way you were told, and Democrats seem to think that abortion was going to be the big issue. Abortion was going to be what swayed women away from Donald Trump, overturning of Roe versus Wade. But as just a normal person, what was your moment when you suddenly realized, you said you did your research, what was your moment that flipped the switch and said, I've been lied to. I need to change the way I'm doing things.
I think it was seeing the reactions, like you said. Um, Liberals typically or Democrats don't want to ever have a conversation about politics. I've never heard me or any of my Republicans friends say that we don't because we're not really uncomfortable. So I guess my aha moment was just seeing when I started supporting President Trump how these people weren't even just trying to talk to me and like tell me like that they feel this way because of A, B, and C. They like freaked out. And I just think that honestly, Kevin, if the left didn't go too far left, there'd be a lot less conservatives. So I think they did us a favor because, like I said, I was not in politics. If anything, I guess years ago, I would say by definition, I was a liberal. But just seeing how insanely left they had gone and just I mean listen, I always considered myself pro-choice. Now I consider myself pro-life, and again I just think that these people go so far. I think personally it's disgusting to have a late term abortion. I think that the whole Roe versus Wade thing, if Trump didn't do it, they've been trying to do that, correct me if I'm wrong, for a long time, reverse it. He gave it to the states, but again, it doesn't matter how you explain this to anybody. I mean, I had a lady at my job crying, very upset that her granddaughter can't supposedly now in the future, her granddaughter's 4, have an abortion. And this whole thing is just, it's wild to me. And by the way, people are still going to be able to get abortions. So I don't understand the mentality. I really don't.
No, you know, I said this before. Democrats made a bet that more women got abortions than buy milk. And that's what it really came down to. I tell people all the time, in the 18 months since Roe versus Wade has been overturned, there were more abortions in the 18 months prior.
But that's what I'm saying.
It is wild to me. As I said, the more you know, the better you do. And obviously, you've been politically engaged for quite some time now. We were talking about it the other day about what's coming next, about how we're going to be getting involved. Obviously, we have a very strange-looking woman we have to remove from Albany very, very soon.
Just kidding.
Governor Eyebrows.
Terrible.
Who can't draw her eyebrows on correctly. I don't know what it is. Maybe you can explain why. I don't know why women draw them up here.
I actually, listen, and she should have done this too. I don't know how to do that, so I got mine tattooed on. And she made that mistake.
Well,
one of many mistakes she made.
Since you said the T word, we're not going to show it. We're not going to show it because this is an attempted PG rated show. But no, that's okay. You have a story about a tattoo contest that happened over the weekend that I think everyone would be quite entertained if they heard. Apparently, you ruined some Russian guy's tattoo experience.
You're gonna get me in trouble, but I mean, it is what it is. This is a funny story. So I'm wild. I love tattoos. I'm passionate. I love politics. I love Donald Trump for just everything. Everything that man has done and continues to do. Let me just explain, not that I have to explain it to you, but some people don't understand. I will know you for 2 seconds and get your name tattooed on me. I don't care. I love ink. I love self-expression. Anyway, I was pleasantly surprised when President Trump won because I knew he was going to get the votes, but I just don't trust the left. So the second that happened, I reached out to this guy that did my sleeve. His name is Paul Touchluck. He owns Abyss in Long Beach. And he's the real deal. If you're going to get a realism tattoo, that's who you go to. And it was kind of a joke at first. I reached out and I said, hey, I said, this man just won. I said, how fast can you tattoo his face on my ass? And I mean, he books out years in advance. I didn't think that he was even going to text me back. And he said, why don't you come to a tattoo convention and get your ass tattooed in front of a whole bunch of people? I said, okay, because you know that was music to my ears. I said, okay. And then he said, I just want to warn you, Sam, it's in White Plains. There are definitely a lot of liberals here. And that's when I was sold, as if I wasn't going to do it anyway. He had me at woke. So that's what we did on Sunday. We went to a tattoo convention and he did this beautiful picture. I'm sure the viewers will see. It came out more amazing than I thought. And then I was just so hungry. These tattoos take all day to do. We were bullshitting. I actually wanted to walk around the convention. The next thing I know, a whole bunch of guys come over and say, you guys have to enter that. We ended up winning not only tattoo of the day, but tattoo out of the entire, I believe, 3-day convention. So he's got like this 4-foot trophy. And, listen, these tattoos were amazing. All the artists were incredible. I mean, this guy, the runner-up, his entire leg was tatted. And it was just super awkward because, yes, White Plains is very, very liberal. And these guys were sitting for 3 days straight with like tattoo artists from Russia, from all over the world. And then some schmuck comes from Long Island and it's like, can you tattoo Trump on my ass? And we won. So there were a lot of haters, and I'm just going to leave it at that.
This is why you are one of my favorite people ever, because when you called me with that story, I thought, you know what, the world, and look, some people, why would you get it on your ass and, whatever. I just think it's funny. I think it's comical. I saw it. The tattoo looks great. Being on, aside from its placement, but it's just when the Kamala Harris campaign tried to do the joy thing, and we are the campaign of joy, I just think to myself, I hear stories like the one you just told, and I see all the videos of John Jones and guys in the UFC with the stupid little dance, and I'm like, we are the fun people. We are the people that are not so tight-assed and, just like boring, like so many Democrats want people to be.
No, not at all. And I say that all the time. I mean, I've been saying forever that we're better looking, but no, we are just.
Oh, that goes without saying. That goes without saying.
Yes, it really does. But we are just happier people. And I was super nice at the convention. I mean, listen, I knew my audience. I was very friendly. Everyone was super nice back. But it was wild to see the hate we got. And it was funny because, again, when you're in Westchester, we were at the Westchester County Center, like, it wasn't rigged. It wasn't like a political thing because then I wouldn't have won. Paul's does great work. Everyone there was, I don't know. The energy was good, but typically, yes, you're right. It's they're just not happy people. That's just in my experience. And I mean, I shouldn't even say that. It's true. They're just not. Yeah. They don't like themselves. They don't like the country that they're living in. They don't like facts apparently.
Speaking of people who don't like the country they're living in, as we are recording this, there have been multiple confirmed reports that Ellen has left America in fear of Donald Trump's victory. That has been confirmed so far by at least 2 sources so far, that Ellen has left the building. I'm just checking. Do you think you'll be able to make it through the next 4 years without Ellen?
I'm not really sure, to be honest. I feel like I'm going to try to hold it together while we finish this interview because I did my makeup, but I'm probably going to break down later. I think that this is drastically going to negatively affect my life. Did she actually leave, by the way? Because I know everybody says they're going to leave.
Right now, she is currently trending on Twitter that she has left the building. She has exited the country, which, look, to her credit, if I'm being totally honest with you, knowing that she actually followed through, or Ellen DeGeneres, we'll see who is. Let's see. That's
respectful. Yes, you're right. If she actually followed through, that's commendable.
Libs of TikTok is reporting it from the Wrap right now. The Wrap seems to be the only one who is reporting it at the moment. This is genuinely hilarious. Ellen has left the building.
I wonder if they're going to Epstein Island or they're just going elsewhere. Like, where are these?
Well, she's going to the UK. TMZ TV, Ellen DeGeneres and Portia de Rossi moved to England after the Trump win. I don't know who her wife is, but I guess she's her wife.
But hey, at least their grandkids could get 9-month abortions, right? And that's what it's all about.
It's so funny. I tell people all the time about the abortion thing. I'm like, we should have a liberal abortion policy like France and England. And people go, yeah. And I'm like, cool, 10 weeks. They go, what?
This is like when I saw, when this first came out about him reversing Roe v. Wade. I believe it was, I don't follow any celebrities on Instagram, but I think I saw like a picture. Jessica Biel was in France and she was like, yay, at least like, abortions are legal here. These people don't know what they're talking about. And they absolutely should not post politics publicly because, I mean, it's just proving that.
It's so sad too because I sit there and I think to myself, so many of the look, it's like Goodfellas will come on the TV, and I go in and I used to be like, oh my god, the greatest movie ever, and now I'm just like, oh man, I'm so happy Ray Liotta ratted on Robert De Niro. Like,
Yeah.
I hear Bruce Springsteen and I'm like, I love this song, but man, you're annoying.
So years ago, I remember that my cousin was like, yeah, but you shouldn't let that affect you. But why not? It's not, I don't think that's ridiculous at all. It's just how I feel. Like, you're right. I'm never going to watch Meet the Fockers. I thought that was a great movie. I mean, between him and Ben Stiller, I mean, I just don't know. You lose respect. And it's really sad because sometimes I'm the type of person, I'll watch a really good movie and then I'm like, who is this person? I have to like Google them, find them on Instagram. Like, I want to know about them. And then I'm like, oh shit. Cause I mean, some of these really cool, but that's why it's acting.
Absolutely.
Like I never realized that like these people aren't their characters at all.
Oh,
And
yeah.
it's sad, but at least we have Clint Eastwood.
They're grown-ups who play pretend for a living. Like, my niece does that, but she's 3. So it's like I don't know. I don't want to hear economic policy from Robert De Niro, who, I want to be clear, great actor, but he's played the same character in every movie he's ever been in. Like the same. What range? It's like instead of like a real bad mobster, he's like a sort of bad mobster. I'm like, I don't know.
You know what? You're right. And I never even thought of that. Didn't Mark Wahlberg say, and if he did say this, he was absolutely correct, these people don't even live the way the rest of us do. So why they feel the need to give anybody political advice? I don't know if it's a mixture. Are they getting paid to do it? Or I do wholeheartedly believe that they really think, like, these people really think that Trump is evil. I don't think that they don't, and they're saying it. And like, that's really scary. You know what I mean? Because there are clearly not enough to win an election, but there are a lot of people that look up to these actors. And I mean, I just wish, I know that you and I both know Republican conservative actors that have come out, but even Joe Rogan said that there are so many more that I wish that they listen. I respect the fact that they're Trump supporters, but I really do. I wish they would speak up because, I mean,
well, Adam Carolla has a theory that if you don't know the way a celebrity votes, then they're a Republican because they're afraid to say it out loud. So I'm sitting here and I'm like, all right, well, let me just run down the list of all the ones I still like. And, that seems to be true because there's no fear. There's no fear in coming out as a Democrat, particularly if you're Beyonce and you're getting paid to do it.
But so that's so baffling because you're right. But like, I would be mortified. But we know what the Democrat Party is all about. So to me, like, I would actually be in the closet Democrat. Like, I would actually lie and say I was a Trump supporter and then go vote for her.
I say it all the time. I wear my MAGA hat everywhere. I wear my loud majority stuff everywhere, and I get nothing. I tell everybody this in the chat. In chat, you guys know I say this to you all the time, that wear it out. No one's going to say anything to you. Wear it in public, and you will make friends from the other side of the grocery store.
Yes. And then those are like your people. I just met someone I don't know if it's Lidl, but I was there and I talked to this woman in the parking lot for like 10 minutes because it's that connection. It's like smart person. And you know how it goes. Now we're friends on Facebook. I'll probably go to like her daughter's wedding. I love meeting like-minded people.
Absolutely.
Therapeutic.
Absolutely. Well, Sammy, thank you so much for joining us. You are welcome on anytime. It's so great. Like, I've had a lot of friends on that are in the movement. It's good to have a friend on.
And we're going to continue to do stuff together. So
absolutely, I can't wait. We got fun planned for New York and New Jersey in the coming years. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Sammy, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you so much, Kevin. Have a good night.
All righty, we're gonna have all of your social media links in the description video, guys.
Brace yourselves, everyone.
It's definitely not safe for work, but no, you're the best. You're the best.
Bye, Kevin.
Bye. All righty, guys, we will be right back. Did I lie to you guys? Did I lie to you, or is she not one of the most fun people around? Sammy, thank you for coming on. As always, you are welcome on anytime. Always a good time to see some friends, to be able to bring some friends onto the show. As always a good time. So, Sammy, thank you guys so much for coming on. We'll be right back.
The biggest benefit, honestly, has been with my skin. Skin was more hydrated, more radiant.
This is the best superfood that you could take.
It has all the essential nutrients you need for your skin, your gut, energy, focus, mood, performance.
My hair has gotten so much thicker ever since taking this.
I used to have a probiotic, a green juice that replaced it all with this Arma colostrum. It is amazing.
You gotta take it.
If you want to try it, try arma.com.
Guys, start feeling better today with the superfood formula over at tryarmor.com/LFATV. That's tryarmor.com/LFATV to get 15% off everything on the website. That is tryarmor.com/LFATV. So, as we rock, as we roll here, first off, what'd you guys think of Sammy? She's great. That was her first time doing an interview, being on camera. I told her she should do it more. She's definitely a star. Make sure you guys follow her. I put her Instagram in the comments, in the live chat, and I will put them in. I will put it in the comments below. Let me drop this in here real quick before I forget. Boom, there it is. What did you guys think? So, we're gonna have ourselves a little bit of fun here today because we haven't checked in a while. And by a while, I mean a day. We haven't checked in on the ladies of The View. So I just showed you one awesome lady, and now I'm going to show you 5 incredibly stupid ones. So The View today decided that it was going to self-flagellate itself about how great they were, as opposed to the likes of people like Joe Rogan. And Joe is having himself a field day with this. Just watch, and then we'll show you the outcome.
People want us divided, and they aren't just here in this country. They're foreign adversaries who are infiltrating our social media because it is prudent for us to stay that way. So when you see something that really pisses you off, you should triple check that one.
Yeah. But I think that's why people like our show, because they know that we are checked by ABC News. But
we're checked by everybody.
Yeah. I mean, if we're wrong, we have, the legal note here.
The human legal note?
But we went from Walter Cronkite, basically, to this guy, Joe Rogan, who believes in dragons. I checked it. He believes in dragons? He believes in dragons.
Did you triple source that?
Yes, I did. And he also thinks that dragons, like dinosaur-y type of animals, roamed the earth when people did. So this is the type of really, really bad information that's going out there.
Well, in defense, there are some really good news.
It's possible that Donald Trump did roam the earth when dinosaurs were here.
There are some really good news kind of influencer types, and I think it's great that they're getting information about global and current events in front of younger people who maybe don't tune into traditional media. But to Sarah's point, there has to be some fact-checking and actually verification of the things that are shared, because I spend a lot of time on Instagram Reels, and I'm served up things that I get outraged about, and then I realize, oh, that's not even true, but I have the sense to go and look it up. But what I do worry about with this, like the Blue Sky versus X, because a lot of people I follow on X, Twitter, have now left to go to Blue Sky, I worry we're all going into our own echo chamber. So we had this, this election that was tense. Donald Trump won, and the right is going to stay on X, and then the left is all going to be on Blue Sky. How do we try to talk to each other?
Unfortunately, I will have to say, the other side, I think, has driven people away, because it's not just discourse. It's nasty name calling and coming after your family, and I'm going to do this to you. And I don't think anyone should have to take that from anybody if they don't have to. So I'm not sure. And I think a lot of Republicans who also are getting that because they have opinions that may differ from what is being said, they're moving as well. Because, and I know why also, because, as I believe, Elon Musk is the actual vice president.
So naturally, there's so much to go over in that clip. Number one, Joy Behar, you are nothing like Walter Cronkite. That's number one. Number two, you make shit up all of the time. All the time. Not like a little bit of the time, like a lot of the time, like most of the time. You genuinely just make stuff up. But because Joy Behar is an idiot and said that Joe Rogan believes in dragons, Joe, of course, being the absolute savage that he is, decided he was going to have a little bit of fun with this and change his description on X to dragon believer, which is absolutely hilarious. Look. Sometimes people need a bit of self-awareness in their lives. Okay? For example, I'll have some self-awareness. On this network, Jeremy Harrell has a bigger viewership than I do. He has a bigger show. The View pulls in like 3 million an episode. Joy. Joe Rogan pulls in like 13 million an episode. As a matter of fact, in his recent interview with Donald Trump, he pulled in 50 million. Maybe you ought to have a little self-awareness that actually you're not as popular as you think you are. It turns out having self-awareness in this industry is usually what builds you up. What helps you grow. Not having self-awareness causes you to lose most of your audience. Need an example of that? Let's look over at the illustrious makeup-wearing, toupee sculpting idiots over at Morning Joe. Because, let's be honest here, they've been having a bit of a rough time of it since they went down to Mar-a-Lago. But luckily, guys, there's somebody on the case, and he knows the truth about why the viewers at Morning Joe went down to see Donald Trump. Don't worry, guys. Strap in Brian Stelter.
And Chief Media Analyst Brian Stelter, who's been speaking to his sources about that.
Just before we keep going, has there ever been a more doughy-like individual ever on television?
Very trip. That video is so jarring to watch. It looks a little hostage video-y to me.
Right. Détente, appeasement, I don't know what to call it. You know, Joe Mika didn't say much about it today, but according to my sources, they believed, they credibly were concerned that they faced governmental and legal harassment with this incoming administration. Essentially, that they feared retribution, and that's partly why they sought out this meeting.
What kind of retribution are we talking about here?
You know, I think there's a wide spectrum, and to be fair to Brzezinski and Scarborough, they're not the only MSNBC hosts or the only, the word journalist is complicated, right, because they're more like personalities, but there are a number of journalists at places like the AP and other big news outlets that are concerned about retaliation in the coming months. Anything from IRS audits to lawsuits and things like that. There are media outlets bulking up on lawyers, thinking about having more libel insurance, those sorts of things. Now, I don't know exactly what the specific concern Joe Mika had was or wasn't, but they're not the only MSNBC personalities worried about retaliation. However, they are the only ones to go down to Mar-a-Lago and have a meeting.
Yeah, Scott, you were shaking your head.
I mean, isn't it possible, too, that they're just two people who are so full of themselves, so full of self-aggrandizement, that they would feel like that they would be personally singled out?
Don't tell anyone, but some of their colleagues feel that way.
Well, first of all, I can see why. Second of all, if that's what happened, and if that's what they truly believed, why didn't they go on TV and say that? We went down there to meet with the president to tell him that, hey, anyone who's been critical of you, you should treat us like journalists and not like the enemy. They didn't go on TV and say that. They went on TV and portrayed it much differently. So what I hear you saying in your reporting is they had a motive that they weren't willing to disclose to their audience, which I think should get them more scorn today than they were already getting to begin.
Zero self-awareness whatsoever. But Brian Stelter, guys, He's on the case. Now, we can ignore the fact that Brian Stelter has already been fired from CNN once before and came crawling back because the most dangerous place in America is between Brian Stelter and a camera. Morals be damned. Zero self-awareness on the part of the media. And because of that, their viewers are gone. Because it turns out, MSNBC, CNN, you can't call a guy Hitler for 4 years and then take a meeting with him. That's not how any of this works. Either he's Hitler and you don't meet with him, or he's not Hitler and you do meet with him. You can't do both. But you've been lying to your audience for the better part of a decade. We don't do that here. We try to be honest with all of you. Guys, hit that thumbs up button. Share this video out all over the place, because in just a minute, I'm going to make fun of Boston, which is not incredibly hard to do, considering the majority of their citizens are part of the band The Dropkick Murphys. Before we get to that, guys, head on over to lfatv.us. That's lfatv.us. That is your home base. That is your mothership. That is everything you need to know for LFA-TV stuff, guys. Check out the LFA-TV store. And while you're there, consider becoming a monthly donor. We can't do this stuff without your help, guys. This is user-generated content, and you know how much we appreciate it. So head on over to mypillow.com, promo code LOUD. So as I make fun of our New Englanders up north, I want to take you guys into the Wayback Machine. And by the Wayback Machine, I mean 6 days ago, when the governor of Massachusetts made it very, very clear that she would not be assisting in any deportations coming from ICE.
If the Trump administration requests it, would the Massachusetts State Police assist in mass deportations?
No, absolutely not. But, you know, let me say this. I do think it's important that we all recognize that there's going to be a lot of pressure on states and state officials. And I can assure you, we're going to work really hard to deliver. Some realities also need to be, noted, and that is in 2016, we had a very different situation in the courts. And while I'm sure there may be litigation ahead, there's a lot of other ways that people are going to act and need to act for the sake of their states and their residents. There's regulatory authority and executive powers and the like. There's legislation also within our states. So I think that the key here is that every tool in the toolbox has got to be used to protect our citizens, to protect our residents, and protect our states, and certainly to hold the line on democracy and the rule of law as a basic principle, right? All
right, so just to be clear, Governor of Massachusetts, you will not be assisting in any ICE deportations. You will not be assisting in any areas that ICE needs you to deport illegal immigrants. But what if there's like criminals and you want to keep your community safe? Well, luckily, the mayor of Boston concurs.
What will Boston's response be if these mass deportations take place?
Yeah, look, elections have consequences, and the federal government is responsible for a certain set of actions, and cities, no individual city can reverse or override some parts of that. But what we can do is make sure that we are doing our part to protect our residents in every possible way, that we are not cooperating with those efforts that actually threaten the safety of everyone by causing widespread fear and having large-scale economic impact.
All right, so just to be clear, Mayor of Boston also not assisting in any deportations of anyone coming from ICE. Definitely not going to be doing that. Not assisting in any deportations. Oh, wait, what's this? What's this now? 3 illegal immigrants arrested in Boston for child rape. Well, what was that? Oh, sorry, what was that from the back? I couldn't hear you. What was that? Three illegal immigrants arrested for raping a child. Sorry, what was that? I'm getting it in my ear. We told you this was going to happen. What was that? Yeah. What was that? Yeah. Democratic Massachusetts Governor Healy previously said her state wouldn't cooperate with federal immigration enforcement efforts and the mass deportation of the Donald Trump administration when he returns to office. Anything from the mayor? Anything from the governor? According to ICE, one of the suspects, Myron Stayin Depends Munzio, an illegal immigrant from Guatemala, was arrested for the forcible rape of a child. However, law enforcement in Great Barrington, Massachusetts, ignored the detainer request made by the federal agency and released him into the public. ICE said in a statement that this guy entered Eagle Pass in 2020. DePaz Munoz was arrested in western Massachusetts by the Greater Barrington Police for the rape of a child by force, rape of a child, indecent assault, and battery on a person's 14 years or younger. But again, police ignored the detainer. He was released on bail. Well done, everyone. Well done, everyone in Boston. Good job, guys. You're really on top of your games. Guys, it's 2 o'clock. I want to thank everybody so much for tuning in. I want to thank Sammy for coming on. As always, guys, do me a favor, guys. Head on over to loudmajorityusa.com. Sign up for the newsletter. Check out our shop. That is the best way to support this program and everything we've got going on. If you're still watching on Facebook, hit that @ button. Hit followers. If you're watching on Rumble, make sure you guys follow Sammy over there. I'll drop her Instagram in the chat one more time if you guys want to go check that out. Guys, thank you all so much for tuning in. You know what? I'll extend it today. Anybody who buys anything on the website today will get a free Trump 2024 flag in the mail with the purchase of anything, because that's how much I love you guys. So head on over to loudmajorityusa.com. Thumbs up button on the way out the door. Will Johnson and the Culture War coming up next. James Ray, first-time watcher, enjoyed the show. Thank you so much. We're live every day from 1 to 2 p.m. Eastern. Also, another very special guest coming on the show tomorrow. You guys aren't going to want to miss that. Until tomorrow, everybody, stay loud.